Let's also go across to Aarti, who's joining us from our newsrooms. And Aarti's collated a list of pointers, which is the X factor for phase 3. Aarti?
Well, this is the third and final phase of polling, and the party which has most at stake here is the RJD. This is their stronghold. This is where they've gathered most of their votes, with it being the Muslim-Yadav vote bank, which they've cultivated over the years. Now, the areas that are going to polls are Seemanchal, Tirhut, Kosi, and Mithila. All these areas have been delivering the votes for the RJD over the past so many years. So, for the NDA to be able to break through these regions is going to be extremely significant, and we've seen them campaign there extensively. In fact, Darbhanga, which is one of the areas that is going to polls today, ahead of the elections, the government even ordered an airport, the construction of an airport there. So this is a region that they are trying to cultivate. They're trying to get a foothold into this region. Now, this includes some of Bihar's most backwards, underdeveloped parts, large parts of this going to polls, which is why one of the reasons that you've heard jobs and development also becoming a key focus in the conversation. Now, there are two issues, of course, that is mass migration and floods. Kosi, the region which you always see those visuals of flood hit areas. Kosi, which is going to polls today, that is a crucial issue there. And also migrants, like we keep talking about these visuals of migrant laborers. Some of them are mostly from Darbhanga, who have gone to other parts of the country. We've seen visuals, heartbreaking visuals of them coming back on foot to their states. So that is another issue that will certainly be in play over here. Now, this is a critical phase for also the Congress, because they have to justify the fact that the RJD has given them so many seats. Is the Congress going to become a liability for the RJD? They have in the past, and this is really going to be a test of the RJD's faith in them, or rather the decision to give them as many tickets contesting as they are. Now, it's also going to be a battle between competing narratives of polarization and job losses. As we've been going from the second phase towards the third phase, we've seen a change in the discourse. While certainly jobs are still being spoken about, there are also other issues like Pakistan, like Pulwama, like love jihad, which have come with CAA. Again, we've seen all these issues come up more often as we're going into this region, and that's going to be a crucial part as well. Now, the RJD vote bank of the Yadavs and Muslims is very crucial here. There are about 25 seats where Muslims are going to play a crucial role in deciding the vote. As far as the Yadavs are concerned, about 65 odd seats they have a huge presence in. And that's why one of the reasons you also see a greater polarization of discourse, because that is the attempt that is going to be key for the BJP. Now, of course, in this particular Seemanchal area, there is also an X factor, so to speak, of the AIMIM, the RLSP and the BSP, which are in an alliance. There's also Pappu Yadav's party there. While they're not expected to get too many votes, what is going to be interesting to see is whether they eat into the RJD's votes and how much they eat into the RJD's votes. So on one hand, you also have the LJP, which is going to be, or which is expected to eat into the JDU's votes. On the other hand, you have these parties which are going to be these smaller alliances which are expected to eat into the JDU's vote. Now, OIC is always known to attract huge crowds. He could possibly be the X factor over here, but it is going to be also, he could also end up the spoiler in this particular election. And finally, just on the eve of this phase of polling, Nitish Kumar made that dramatic announcement in which he said, this is going to be my last election. Nitish Kumar is known to perform somersaults that are perhaps better than some gymnasts as well. So I don't know how seriously this comment should be taken, but nevertheless, whether that has any resonance amongst the voters, whether it manages to sway them emotionally, is another thing that needs to be watched out for.
Yeah, well, Aarti calls it somersaults.
I said somersaults better than most gymnasts.
But Biharis would call him Palturam. So, but effectively, that's what it is. He is, bound to swing from one point to the other. He's done that in the past, so we must take everything that he says with a pinch of salt. Aarti, thanks for that. Just going a little back to a few of the points that she raised, Vinay, and the point about AIMIM, and that being a factor, especially in phase 3.